praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, forever and ever, so let it be truth. The water, love, honor, and respect to the Creator, Yahweh, and His Holy Son, Yahweh Shai, always and forever. And double honors to GMS, to the Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Aramla, Apostle Rakal, the four major prophets, the minor prophets, and the hopeful 144, the hopeful elect, and all the brothers and sisters and the great multitude of people out there that are learning this truth. Shalom, Akim. We're on another lesson today, and we're going to be talking about the Megadrought that's here in the United States. And it's been here for the last 30 years. We've been in the drought for the southwest United States and the whole west coast. But starting this year, it's on a whole new level. On a whole new level. And you're going to start seeing I'm going to start bringing out videos of all these lakes, rivers that are turning dry all over the United States, especially the western United States. This brother's going to start with, we're going to start in the beginning of the Holy Book of Genesis, starting with Abraham.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 12, and verse 10. It says, "Now there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down to Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was severe in the land."
So, right in the beginning of the Holy Book, God sends famines onto the earth. And during this time, Abraham was in the land of Canaan, and he had to go to Egypt. And he was trying to escape with his wife, Sarai. Yeah, you know, because Abraham eventually his name turns into Abraham, and his wife Sarah. That's later down the road. But he had to go into Egypt. So when a famine comes, before the famine, the Most High sends heat, hot heat onto the earth. So the temperatures are going to rise up to 100, 110, 115, 120. And when that starts happening, it starts killing all the crops. It starts drying out the lakes and the rivers. And also, there'll be locusts, rats, mice, which is the plague, will start eating up the crops. When everything, with the heat like that, everything starts to unfold with dying animals, dying birds. And like I said, God will send a plague with the mice and the rats, and that spreads disease. So we're going to go to
Genesis chapter 41.
We're gonna jump to the Holy Book of Genesis chapter 41. We're talking about Joseph, and he was a servant to the Egyptians. But like I said, the Most High, Yahweh, and for a lot of you new viewers out here, Yahweh is the supreme God. He's the creator of all things. And his Holy Son, his first creation, is Yahweh Shai. But here in America and around the world, you know him as Jesus, which is in the English, goes into the Greek and all that, but that's not his real name. When we say Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, we're speaking of his ancient name. The Most High, the Creator, is Yahweh, and his Holy Son, his first creation, is Yahweh Shai, which means he's the deliverer of Jacob, the 12 tribes.
Book of Genesis chapter 41 and verse 1. "Then it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh had a dream, and behold, he stood by the river. Suddenly there came up out of the river 7 cows, fine looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. And behold, 7 other cows came up after them out of the river, ugly and gaunt, and stood by the other cows on the bank of the river."
So right here is showing you twofold. In this dream, he sees cows that are fat. That's the time of, during that time of Egypt and around the world, everything was prosperous. Just like here in America. America has never known famine. There was like maybe the 1920s and 30s, there was some dust storms. There were some people starving to death during because the Wall Street collapsed during that time. But there's never been a great famine of the land where tens or hundreds of thousands or millions of people starved to death. That's never happened here. Well, guess what? It's going to happen here. Starting this year and the next 7 years, it's going to be a great mega drought. Heat. It's like right now in Colorado, last few days, it's been 100 to 104 degrees. Well, no, to 100 to 105. We're a mile up. And right now, it should only be in the 70s and low 80s. It was 104 in Montana on the border of Canada. And then I think it was Palm Springs and some parts of Arizona, it hit up to 120 degrees. This is June. So we're in a mega drought. And it's going to continue as the years go by. But we've been in a drought for the last 30 years. The rivers and the lakes have been dropping down. Lake Mead, a lot of these reservoirs, they're dropping. So the next few years, it's going to be hell on earth for them.
This is verse 4. And the ugly and gaunt cows ate up the 7 fine-looking and fat cows. So Pharaoh awoke. He slept and dreamed a second time. And suddenly 7 heads of grain came up on a stalk, plump and good. And behold, 7 thin heads, lighted by the east wind, sprang up after them. And the 7 thin heads devoured the 7 plump and full heads. Pharaoh awoke, and indeed it was a dream.
This dream was a nightmare to the Pharaoh. Because he seen there was fat animals. That was a time of plenty. Just like right here in America, we've been living the times of plenty. I remember back in the 80s, you can go to Burger King and buy Whoppers for $1 with cheese. Everything was plentiful. Well, in this dream back in the ancient times, they didn't know what a famine was. They didn't know about a mega drought and people starving to death. So this dream disturbed him. And when he seen these big fat animals that were healthy, and then he seen the bony animals, which is famine, where there was no more water, there was no more food to feed the animals. So this dream, the Most High put a dream on him, and it disturbed him. Go on.
Verse 8. Now it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all its wise men. Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was no one who could interpret them for Pharaoh.
So he went to all these warlocks, magicians, all these men on the left-hand side, wicked men, demons that are on these men. They couldn't interpret this dream. Go on.
Verse 9. Then the chief butler spoke to Pharaoh, saying, I remember my faults this day. When Pharaoh was angry with his servants and put me in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, both me and the chief baker, we each dreamed a dream in one night. He and I, each of us dreamed according to the interpretations of his own dream. Now there was a young Hebrew man with us there, a servant of the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted our dreams for us. To each man he interpreted according to his own dream. And it came to pass, just as he interpreted for us, so it happened. He restored me to my office, and he hanged him.
So he executed the baker, but he saved Joseph. And like the Most High, when you're a good servant to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, He will always bless you and protect you if you're 24/7 with the Most High. Day in and day out with this holy book, you're in prayer, you have hope, you have faith, you're dealing in the spirit with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. He will always save you and He will deliver you. Just like He delivered Joseph, and he was a servant. He was on the bottom of Egypt. He wasn't even respected. He was even not a real true citizen of the Egyptians. But God's going to show the whole world, He's going to show the Pharaoh that He's dealing with certain men on this earth. Just like today, He's dealing with the apostles, the prophets, and the servants of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai who are pushing this word to the four corners of the earth. And we're now on the internet, on the World Wide Web, and people now can just go on and click and learn this truth. Because soon there's going to be a famine of the word. But we're actually going through the famine, the Megadrought that's happening in the physical earth, where these lakes, rivers are all going to disappear. And there ain't going to be no more running water for the cities of Phoenix, Las Vegas, San Diego, Los Angeles, Sacramento, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, going all the way to New Mexico. And here in Colorado, actually our mountains supply over 100 million people. The Colorado River, right here in the Colorado Rockies. But it's going to start drying up here where that water ain't no longer going to go down. That's why everything's drying up. Go on.
Verse 14. And Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon, and he shaved and changed his clothing and came to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. But I have heard it is said of you that you can understand a dream to interpret it.
And that's through the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. The Most High is dealing with Joseph, and the Most High is going to break it down for Joseph. Because he's a servant of who? He's a servant of the Creator, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Go on.
It's verse 16. So Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, it is not in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. Then Pharaoh...
Go ahead, stop there. So on that verse 16, Joseph answered the Pharaoh. He says, I cannot do anything. And he called him, Your Majesty. But Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai will give a favorable interpretation. It's the Most High. It's the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai who's dealing with Joseph, who was dealing with Abraham, Isaac, and Joseph. He was dealing. The Most High picks his people, and he gets men like the apostles, the prophets, and the servants. People look down on us brothers. The Akim is in the Hebrew means brothers. They look down. The whole world looks down on us. But the Most High is dealing with us. But that shows you right there that Joseph was so humble. He said, there's nothing great about me. But the Most High willing, he's going to interpret this dream. So I'm going to go to God, and he's going to break down the dream, and I'm going to break it down to you and to all the Egyptians and all the people of the world. Go on.
Verse 17. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, behold, in my dream I stood on the bank of the river. Suddenly 7 cows came up out of the river, fine looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. And behold, 7 other cows came up after them.
That's those 7 of those cows. That was a time of plenty. There was a lot of water. There was a lot of food. The cows were big, plump. You know, everything was good at that time. Go on.
It says, then behold, 7 other cows came up after them, poor and very ugly, and gone. Such ugliness as I have never seen in all the land of Egypt. And the gaunt and ugly cows ate up the first 7, the fat cows. When they had eaten them up, no one would have known that they had eaten them, for they were just as ugly as at the beginning, so I awoke. Also I saw in my dream, and suddenly 7 heads came up, one stalk full and good. And behold, 7 heads withered, thin, and lighted by the east wind sprang up after them.
So right there, it was 26, 22, where he said he had that dream and he saw the 7 heads of grain which were full and ripe. That was the good times. Growing on one stalk, that was the good times. Everything was going good. Just like in America, everything's been going good. These people do not know that bad times. The Most High is about perfect balance. There's going to be good times and there's going to be bad times. There's going to be darkness and there's going to be light. There's herbs, there's strong herbs like ginger that's hot and bitter, and then you have honey. Everything's perfect balance. So also where he says, where were you at? 22? The 7 heads of grain sprouted in its, and then he said it was scorched by the desert wind. That's that mega drought. First everything was great. Now it's the time of scorching heat. That's that mega drought of hot heat coming down onto the earth, which is going to kill the trees. It's going to kill plants, all the crops. The rivers are going to run dry. You can't feed the crops without water, and that's happening right now in the United States, in Colorado, Utah, Nevada, California. The farmers don't have water to feed the crops, and that's that scorching heat that's coming onto the earth. Go on.
Verse 24, and then the thin heads devoured the 7 good heads. So I told this to the magicians, but there was no one who could explain it to me. And Joseph said to Pharaoh, the dreams of Pharaoh are one. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads are 7 years.
And that was the 7 years of plenty, which 7 means completion. Like the United States, our 7, actually the whole United States since the beginning has never seen this famine. So we've had a couple hundred, 1776 to now, everything's been going great. But now, the last few years has been bad, but starting this year and the next 7 years, it's going to be just, everything's going to dry up. And there's some towns up in Central California, they're giving $1,000 fines. I'm going to bring those videos out. They got to slow down on their showers, and if their water bill goes so high, they're going to start getting $1,000 fines per household. That breaks these measures that these cities are starting to bring out in California, and that's going to start happening in Vegas, San Diego, Los Angeles, all the cities. There ain't going to be no more water, and they're first going to start with the showers that you're going to have to take a 2-minute shower. You're not going to be able to water your lawn, the golf courses, but it's going to get so severe, there ain't going to be no more water. Go on.
Verse 27, the 7 and thin ugly cows which came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty heads blighted by the east wind are 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. Indeed, 7 years of great plenty will come throughout all the land of Egypt, but after them 7 years of famine will arise, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt.
Yeah, all them good years of Egypt, and this time they never knew what famine was, but all those good years that they had will be long. All them good years will be forgotten. Now they're going to start seeing pain. They're going to start feeling the heat. They're going to start feeling that perfect balance of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Good times and bad times. Evil times. That's what the times that we're living in right now.
It says, verse 31, so the plenty will not be known in the land because of the famine following, for it will be very severe. And the dream was repeated to Pharaoh twice, because the thing is established by Yahweh, and Yahweh will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise man and set him over the land of Egypt.
Go on with it.
Verse 34, let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land to collect 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt in 7 plentiful years. 35. It says, verse 35, and let them gather all the food of
Go
those.
back to 33, where it talks about Joseph.
Verse 33, now therefore let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise man and set him over the land of Egypt.
And who that man's going to be? That's going to be Joseph. Just like right now, the Most High is dealing with the apostles, the prophets, and the servants of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. What does he say right here? He's saying wisdom, a man of wisdom and insight. Who's a man of wisdom and insight? Men who read this holy book. On the right-hand side, this is the only book that has wisdom, knowledge, is from this book. And that's Joseph. He was always in prayer to the Most High, to the Creator. So now the Pharaoh, when he broke down that dream, he's seen that the Most High is dealing with this man Joseph. And he was on the lowest of the low under the Egyptian. He wasn't even considered a citizen. But that's who the Most High, the Most High deals with men who are humbled unto the Creator. We're just regular men, but we're men that prayed and we're serious. Being serious into this, having that fear of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. He'll bring good times, he's going to bring bad times. We're in the times of bad times. When you're in this truth, you're going to be attacked. Everything, you'll be being attacked every day being in this truth. It's not like those fake preachers you see on TV. People send them millions of dollars. They're in air-conditioned buildings. We're out here right now, it's 100 degrees. But the Most High, we do it for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. We're doing it for the elect. We're doing it to bring brothers and sisters into this truth, to know the real name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and to warn them of the famine, of World War III. All this is coming together. Go on.
So verse 34, let Pharaoh do this and let him appoint officers over the land to collect 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt in the 7 plentiful years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that are coming, and store up grain and under the authority of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. Then that food shall be as a reserve for the land for the 7 years of famine.
So Joseph, with the wisdom that the Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua gave Joseph, he told him, start putting food away. This is the good times. Where that dream you had is coming. Just like the Most High put signs in the moons with all these blood moons, those are signs. And the men of wisdom on the right hand side, which are the apostles, the prophets, and the servants of God, we see these signs. He puts it out there in the stars, the moons, and reading this holy book, we understand. So Joseph is warning them, you better start storing food. Ready for this great famine, because there's going to be 7 years of evil times. And a man of wisdom, he's going to have his family protected through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And we're meant to have that understanding of this book, is to start saving and putting food away. Putting money away, putting food away. With real money is assets, which is silver and gold. We're not talking about that paper money, that fiat money. We're talking about real assets and food and water. So being in this truth, we'll be okay through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua when this famine comes. But the majority of the people in America and around the world, they're not going to make it. Go on.
Verse 36. Then that food shall be as a reserve for the land of the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land may not perish during the famine. The advice was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said to his servants, can we find such a one as this, a man in whom the spirit of Yahweh? And Pharaoh said to Joseph, inasmuch as Yahweh has shown you all this, there is one as discerning and wise as you.
So the Pharaoh even seen that Joseph, he said, God has shown you all this, so it is obvious that you have greater wisdom and insight than anyone else on this earth. We're going to stop it right there. But the Most High is dealing with the house of Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the descendants. And he picks men who are on the bottom, who are humbled unto God, and he'll make them famous. Just like he's going to make. We're not here to be famous, but the Most High is going to show the whole world God's dealing with the apostles, the prophets, and the servants of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. He's going to make us famous, because the whole world at one time, they're going to see them men were right all along. Everything they said came true. We got it from this holy book. It starts from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. and we're reading the holy book, the scriptures of the past, the present, and the future. So we're going to close out today. A big mega drought is coming to America. It's already here. And like I said, it's going to continue. And there's going to be a shortage of water, and the crops are all going to be dead. The crops are going to turn into dust. So you're going to see prices in the next few videos. Steak that I used to buy for $9 is now like $24. So hyperinflation's here. But wait, when all these cows and these crops die, I mean, I don't know how high these prices are going to be, but most people are going to be starving to death. Mega drought, heat wave, famine. It's here. So all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Tawana, forever and ever. So let it be true, Most High willing. And to the apostles of GMS, Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Aramla, Apostle Rakal. They're the brothers they're getting tens of thousands of men together with their families of knowing this truth. So the water to all the brothers. We'll see you tomorrow. Most High willing.